Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a little bit of an extra add-on here talking about distributive property. A couple extra things that maybe we didn't get to yesterday that we're going to kind of go over. The first one is something that's going to be really important, especially as we start getting later into this course. But we want to start introducing it to you now. And it's actually what happens when I want to do distributive property backwards. Okay, what happens when I want to do it backwards? And this has a special name. We actually call this factoring. Okay, so factoring is the official name of this, but really what it is distributive property backwards. Basically what I'm thinking about is, okay, how could I return this into a distributive property problem and take something out to make that happen, okay? So what you want to do is you want to look at your terms and say, what is the GCF of these terms? Basically meaning, what is the largest thing that I can divide out of these two terms? So when I look at them, what's the same between them that I can divide out of both? For this one, it's going to be x squared. So I'm going to write the x squared on the outside like it's the number on the outside of a distributive property problem. Then on the inside, I'm going to have left over whatever would happen if I divided each of these individually by x squared. Okay, so it's like I divided out because, again, we're doing distributive property backwards. So instead of multiplying through, I'm dividing each by that. And I would end up with 3 plus 5 left over on the inside, okay? So what we just did is we just factored. We took that x squared, we pulled it to the outside, and now we're left with this 3 plus 5 in here. Now, this is sort of our distributive property problem that we have, right? I could go ahead and distribute this back through and end up with this same expression up here. But we actually can simplify this a little bit more, right? What is 3 plus 5? We know that. That's 8. So this will actually simplify to 8x squared. Okay, using that factoring, doing distributive property backwards. Here's another example. We can do this as well. Again, I look at each of these and say, all right, I think I can take a c out of each of these. So it's basically like I'm dividing each part by c. I write that GCF on the outside. Here's a c. And then I write whatever's left over. In this case, it's going to be a -5. And then remember, secretly, there's a 1 hiding here. So it's going to be plus 1. But again, even though this is our distributive property backwards, this looks like a distributive property problem, this factoring that we're talking about, I notice, oh, I can do -5 plus 1. I know what that equals. That equals -4. So this actually equals -4c. Now, some of you might be sitting there and saying, Mr. Guy, why are you showing me this? I already could have done this without doing that factoring part you just showed me, because this is just combining like terms. -c plus 5c plus c, that's just -4c. On the previous one, 3x squared plus 5x squared, 3 plus 5 is 8, it's 8x squared. Why are you showing me this? Well, it's because we're actually kind of pulling back the curtain and showing you the behind the scenes of what's going on here. Whenever we are combining like terms, we are actually secretly doing this factoring, doing this distributive property backwards. That's what allows us to do it, right? What we just showed here, okay? In fact, we can use distributive property and the definition of multiplication to help show us why like terms can be added together, but unlike terms can't, okay? You can kind of see here, if I write it all out, okay, it works. Whereas when I write it all out with the y's and x's, things that are not alike, and I try it with numbers, I'm going to move my camera over here, and I plug in numbers, we can see that it's not going to work when they're not like terms. Okay, we don't end up with this right answer that we're supposed to by combining them together. All right, so this factoring that we just showed, that distributive property backwards, is actually kind of doing the combining like term steps for us behind the scenes. And as we're going to see later, it has some other applications as well, this factoring, but it's something just to remember that what are the properties that allow us to do certain things? Well, combining like terms is not just allowed to be done because it feels like it's right. It's actually, we're allowed to do it because it is distributive property. Okay, it is this factoring component that we just saw there. Okay, all right, thank you for watching.